Hello, and welcome to the Academic Center for Writing presentation on rhythm and poetry. This presentation was written and narrated by Jason Schneider, writing specialist in the ACW. In a poem, the words should be as pleasing to the ear as the meaning is to the mind. Just something to think about as we learn about rhythm. The forward slash is used for stressed syllables. And what looks like a horseshoe turned upwards is used for unstressed syllables. Syllables consist of consonants and vowels. Syllables might just consist of a consonant and vowel. Other syllables might consist of a combination of more than one consonant and vowel. However, a syllable should always be one breath. Accentual syllabic verse is meter that consists of the number of stresses in syllables for setting the length of the line. There are 5 basic metrical patterns. This is not exhaustive, but these are the ones that are important for this workshop. Think of metrical patterns as a way to measure the rhythm in a line. Words such as away and lovely consist of 2 syllables, whereas the words understand and desperate consist of 3 syllables. The 3-syllable patterns should indicate a faster rhythm in contrast to 2-syllable patterns. These metrical patterns are equivalent to 1 foot. Not the foot that goes inside your shoe, but a measurement. Think of 1 foot as a unit or set, whether it be 1 iamb or Anapest. One foot in an iamb consists of an unstressed and stressed syllable in that order, such as the 1-syllable words when and I in the regular line. When is unstressed and I is stressed. In poetry, we do not say a sentence but a line. Think of sentences as the measure of a paragraph in prose, but in poetry, a line is the measure of a stanza. Just as the sentence expresses a thought in prose, the line too expresses a thought in poetry. The difference between a regular and irregular line is that an irregular line will contain an additional syllable. The regular iambic line contains 5 units or sets of the iambic metrical pattern. So we would say that the regular iambic line given has 5 feet. The irregular iambic line has 5 feet too, but it also has an additional unstressed syllable at the end of the line. Interestingly, most 2-syllable words from other languages are iambic, but the iambic foot seems most common in English poetry. A trochee is Greek for run because it begins with a stressed syllable instead of starting with an unstressed stagger as in iamb. This trochee has 5 feet too, but reverses the order of the stressed and unstressed metrical pattern of an iamb. Most English 2-syllable words, not original from other languages, are trochees with the stress on the first syllable. poet can manipulate the meter in the line by adding articles, conjunctions, prepositions, and pronouns to turn a trochaic word into an iambic foot. An Anapest has a faster rhythm than that of a trochee or iamb, and it does exactly as it means in Greek, to hit back, ending the foot with a delayed stress after two unstressed syllables. The stressed syllable immediately begins a dactyl with a longer breath than the two shorter unstressed syllables thereafter. It too has a faster rhythm than the trochee because each foot contains 3 feet in contrast to 2 feet. Rhythm in the line of poetry is measured with metrical feet. Each foot will consist of so many stressed and unstressed syllables, making an iamb, trochee, anapest, dactyl, and spondee. The rhythm is identified by the number of feet within a line. The prefix mono means one, so monometer is 1 metrical foot, whether it be an iamb or any other aforementioned metrical pattern. This same assumption of the number of feet applies to others, such as the prefixes di for 2, tri for 3, or hexa for 5. Now that you know this, we can say that a line of iambic pentameter in Shakespeare means 5 feet. Iambic pentameter in a line means that there are 5 feet of the metrical pattern of an unstressed and thereafter stressed syllable. Similarly, trochaic tetrameter consists of a metrical unit of stressed and thereafter unstressed syllable followed by 3 additional same metrical feet. The number and metrical patterns in a line determine a line's rhythm. The tempo is the speed that the rhythm takes in the line, and it can be manipulated. The poet can slow the rhythm by making a line difficult to pronounce each word successively. Furthermore, a poet might make the beginning of a phrase stressed or unstressed the same as it is at the end of a phrase. The foot begins with the stressed syllable in and ends with the stressed syllable doubt. Doing this successfully, such as several stresses. Lastly, a poet can slow how a line is articulated by using long syllables. A poet can manipulate the articulation of a line by speeding it up. Here are 4 steps to scanning a poem. The first step requires us to find and determine where the syllables are. Then, in step 2, we need to read the poem no differently than we would a book of fiction or nonfiction. Thereafter, the third step, we need to look for which metrical pattern the syllables are. Both step 2 and 3, it is recommended that you mark the stresses on separate sheets of paper. If you can, print the poem twice because we'll need to compare where we had put the stresses in both readings. Comparing the stresses we had written above the line in both steps 2 and 3 will be the fourth and last step in the process of scansion. Alliterations are similar, if not the same, sounding syllables such as the rhyme hickory dickory and the stressed D in dickory and dock. Moreover, hickory and dickory contain trisyllabic feet. That means 3 feet in hickory and dickory. Internal rhyme can be found between the slant rhyme of similar vowels in up and struck, in just one instance. But there are other instances of internal rhyme too. Though we have already stated the alliteration of hickory and dickory, we find that these words with multiple syllables occur more than once. The tempo in this classic poem is quick, and it should with its alliteration, internal rhyme, and trisyllabic feet, and the predominance of words with multiple syllables. Shakespeare's plays are considered poetical because his plays have rhythm, significantly known for iambic pentameter. Despite the lack of rhyme, just as Shakespeare's Hamlet has rhythm in iambic pentameter, but no rhyme. Free verse is different from blank verse, in that free verse has no rhythm and rhyme. Though metrical patterns are measured systematically, a poet can vary the measure of metrical feet with substitution, extra metrical syllables, and truncation. An additional way to vary the rhythm in a poem is to use pauses, which we call caessuras. Rhythm not only determines the flow of the line, but can be meaningfully significant. The successive stresses and rock's vast weight conveys how heavy the rock is and the strength required to throw it. Similarly, the successive stresses in phrases line 2 labors and the words move slow express a relation of difficulty to the first line's phrase, rock's vast weight. I hope you enjoyed learning about rhythm, and I recommend that you try to find literature that talks about rhythm and possibly read more poetry. As Edgar Allan Poe had said, I would define in brief the poetry of words as the rhythmical creation of beauty. Its sole arbiter is taste. Essentially here, what I want you to leave with is that determining the stresses on words within a line can be somewhat or differ in degrees depending on who's reading it. But there will definitely be some words that will carry at some high degree a stress that many people will find in agreement. But follow the process of scansion and read more poetry, and I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. Thanks for watching. For questions about this or any other writing topic, come and visit the Academic Center for Writing in room W114. Thanks again.